Coming up tonight on Business Live, second tranche of International Monetary Fund hits Bank of Ghana's accounts, bringing total amount disbursed since signing up to program to $1.2 billion. Also in this bulletin, Economist Intelligence Unit dismisses concerns that China will pose a threat to Ghana's external debt restructuring after making a U-turn on its earlier debt reprofiling agreement with Zambia.
In an early stage of understanding exactly where China's going to give and where China's going to put up resistance.
Last, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahini urges commercial banks to take proactive steps to enhance their credit risk assessment in order to minimize the elevated loan quality risks.
Banks should enhance their credit risk management to enable them to be able to be very selective of areas they want to lend money to.
We have details of these and many others coming your way all in a moment. Please stay. Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kojo-Baka. To our very first story, the Economist Intelligence Unit has dismissed concerns that China will pose a threat to Ghana's external debt restructuring. According to the UK-based firm, China is relatively a small bilateral lender to the country and therefore cannot raise questions about the debt restructuring after it had earlier agreed to. Now, Ghana reached an agreement with its bilateral creditors on Friday, January 12, to restructure the bilateral debt. The country's indebtedness to China is estimated at $1.7 billion. That's according to the International Institute of Finance. Speaking on the EIU Africa Outlook 2024, principal economist Benedict Craven said Ghana will be fine with its bilateral debt restructuring, unlike Zambia, where the Chinese government made a U-turn on an early agreement.
China's made one concession, which kind of relates back to comparability of treatment. China initially was demanding that multilateral development banks like the World Bank also share in losses of debt negotiation. They've conceded on that point. It was a non-start. But now China's asking, essentially, private creditors are asking China now, what's an agreeable comparability of treatment framework? And that's what we're not seeing from China yet. We're still in an early stage of understanding exactly where China's going to give and where China's going to put up resistance.
All right, so this evening, a little over $600 million has finally hit the Bank of Ghana's account. Now, the International Monetary Fund announced last week that it will release the money after Ghana passed the first review under the program. My colleague George Yafi joins me in studio to tell us more on this latest development. Thanks so much, George, for joining me on Business Live. So, can we confirm that indeed the $600 million has hit the Bank of Ghana's account?
Well, we understand that more than $600 million has hit Bank of Ghana's account, and that was today. Initially, we thought that based on some international transfer charges and others. But don't forget that this transaction is denominated in the IMF SDR, that is their currency. So the stronger the SDR currency could mean that more dollars for the country. And what we understand is that more than $600 million has hit Bank of Ghana's account, that is today.
All right, so the money hit the Bank of Ghana's account today?
Yeah, or let's say credited or debit, yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell me about the impact this would have on the economy.
I think that you want to look at the immediate impact of this being the Bank of Ghana's international reserves. They've had some strong position over the past few months, and the $600 million or more than $600 million coming in will mean that that reserves position will improve strongly. That would be that the immediate impact of this would be that the Bank of Ghana is now in a more stronger position to support the currency and defend the currency. Don't forget, another thing that has also contributed to the city's woes or pressure is the fear by some importers and businesses that the BOG might not be in a strong position to meet their needs. So you have a situation where someone might need dollars to maybe finance imports by the end of maybe March this year. That person will be rushing to demand dollars from these commercial banks because he's afraid that the Bank of Ghana wouldn't be in a strong position in March this year to support his imports and all the rest. So this thing coming in might again go a long way to deal with that speculatory activity and people going into demand for dollars when they don't actually need it. So it means that it has boosted their position. They're very strong now to support the currency demands or currency needs of importers and businesses, and that will be the immediate impact. Now, don't forget that the finance minister earlier explained to us that unlike in the past where this was mainly to support our import needs and all the rest, Now, these amount of money, there's more than $600 million, will go to the Ministry of Finance for it to use it to finance certain projects that were in the budget. So some of these road projects that were going on, when you could always argue that they are donor funded, but there's always a component where you call the counterpart funding. Doesn't mean that government will not be able to draw down on these monies and finance these projects. The Bank of Ghana is going to keep the dollars, but advance the cedis to the Ministry of Finance when they have to provide counterpart funding, when they have to support other projects. So immediate impact of this will first be on strengthening the local currency, improving the Bank of Ghana's reserves, they be in a position to support the local currency, and also some of these road projects that were stalled, some other projects that have been stalled. Now the Ministry of Finance can start drawing down these monies to finance those projects. All
right, so help me understand, a lot of people are very much interested in knowing the usage of this fund. Some are arguing that it could be used for the budgetary support payment and other budgetary allocations. Help us understand what this funds will be used for.
The clarity is that all the little over $600 million are going to support projects that are outlined in the budget. It could be a mix of infrastructure projects, it could be some other projects that the government is providing counterpart funding, some other initiatives that government is supposed to provide seed capital and all the rest. So everything is going to the Ministry of Finance to support the budget. That could be last year's budget. Some projects are delayed and all the rest. So it is not meant for everything being balance of payment support, but the immediate impact also, the Bank of Ghana is taking these hard currencies, holding it and giving it its cedi equivalent, again, to the Ministry of Finance. And don't forget that the World Bank Group is also meeting today to consider Ghana's program being some $300 million. That would also directly go to support projects that have been outlined in the budget as well. So all these things, if they should come in on time, will go a long way to boost the Bank of Ghana's international reserves. They will be in a strong position to meet the country's import needs and also give some signals to the market that when it comes to the Bank of Ghana meeting the needs of market operators for forex needs, they are in a strong position now.
All right, so finally, now that we do know that the 600 million has a little about the 600 million that's in the Bank of Ghana's account, on the back of that, we are expecting the World Bank to also release some $300 million to us. So how soon should we expect that after the meeting?
Well, just like what happened, but the IMF told us at the meeting that it has immediately that funds have been disbursed. But I think that these things will take a while. We are still not clear about the World Bank's meeting and how things have turned. Don't forget this is happening in the US. We are about 6 or 5 hours ahead of them and all the rest. So we are still not having those fine details as in when the disbursement will be made. But the surety we picked up from the meetings is that we've met all the conditions and the board is going to approve. Approval is just one step. Disbursing is also another process as well. And unlike the IMF, maybe this one, the drawdowns could be different, and all the rest. So the approval, Ghana is likely to get that approval. But in terms of drawing down the funds, maybe the conditions might be different compared to the IMF.
All right, George, thank you so much for joining me in studio, breaking it all down for us. Certainly, we shall keep an eye on that and update you with all the minute details in relation to this development story. A while longer on this, and the World Bank, as you heard George say, is expected to meet later today and approve some $300 million for Ghana. Now, the Washington-based lender is advancing this support to Ghana after the country managed to secure a deal with bilateral creditors and consequently completed the first review of the International Monetary Fund program. Here's George's report.
Joy Business understands that the executive directors of the World Bank Board will approve and disburse $300 million to Ghana. Sources say Ghana has met all the conditions needed for this support to be advanced to the country. The World Bank Group is one of several donor partners that will in the coming weeks approve more support for Ghana after it passed the first review under the IMF program last week. Former country director of the World Bank has been outlining the areas the money should be advanced once it hits governments of Ghana's account.
Basically, cash going into your consolidated fund, and then, of course, the program spending is there in line with budget that's been approved by Parliament.
World Bank will also, in the coming weeks, meet to approve some $250 million for Ghana. This is part of support with the Financial Stability Fund, established to assist financial institutions and commercial banks hit badly by the effects of the domestic debt exchange program.
And banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahine is urging commercial banks to take proactive steps to enhance their credit risk assessment in order to minimize the elevated loan quality risks. Now, his concerns follow Fitch's prediction that external debt restructuring will have a little impact on the Ghanaian banking sector, but warns of elevated loan quality risk. Reacting to the matter, Dr. Etuahine said the various commercial banks have a greater role to play in minimizing risks on their loan quality.
The various banks should enhance their credit risk assessment. When you're going to lend to, say, a contractor, what type of contract is he doing? Is he a GOG? If it's a GOG, Ghana government, you will be sure that you're not going to be paid on time. You only have to do donor support, or the IMF or the World Bank project, because if it's only that one, you get paid. If you go and do a GOG, if you lend money to go and do Ghana government roads, you're not going to get paid. And that will stand on your books and it will affect your non-performing. So the banks too should enhance their credit risk management to enable them to be able to be very selective of areas they want to lend money to. Other than that, we will continue to experience this over a long time.
Away from the financial sector, Managing Director of the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company, Edwin Alfred Provençal, has reiterated his stance for an increment of the Bost margin. He maintains the current rate of 9 pesos is not enough to cater for the maintenance and expansion of the company's depots, especially taking into consideration the city's depreciation in recent times. Now, he spoke to Joy Business at the 30th anniversary and Thanksgiving service.
According to Edwin Provençal, without the support of the Bost margin, the company will be forced to join private company set-up depots in areas that are commercially viable to rake up profit. He said the move will ensure the expansion and operationalization of the company.
I mean, if you look at the Bost margin, in 2011, the Bost margin that was allocated was 3 pesos. If you factor in the time value of money, then 20 years down the line, or 2011 to 2023, so you can say 12 years down the line, the Bost margin that would be equivalent to the 3 pesos in 2011 should be almost 22 Ghana cedis. All we are asking for is 12 Ghana cedis to just make sure that the equipment we have put in place is maintained properly for the people of Ghana. And I don't think that is more to ask. I mean, 2 years ago, we're asking for 12 Ghana cedis. We got 12 pesos. We got 6 pesos. And then it was increased to 9 pesos. As we speak, the value of that 3 pesos is 22 pesos today. We are asking for 12 pesos. And we are not even asking for all the 22 pesos. So we still think that the Bost margin is critical to the maintenance of the infrastructure, and especially if we have to expand that infrastructure to serve the people of Ghana, then we need to really make sure that the right thing is done.
Minister for Energy Matthew Opoku Prempeh commended Bost for their feat achieved over the years.
And interestingly, in the last year, one of those state-owned enterprises, people are struggling to take it off my belt, under my belt, and that happens to be Bost. SIGA calls me or writes to me every 2 months that I should hand over the shareholding of Bost to them SIGA. Why? Success has many friends, right? Because in my same portfolio, in my pocket and under my belt, I have one institution called TOR. So when they come, I say, why don't you want TOR and you want Bost? They say, oh, TOR, they say, it tells me how Bost has been transformed under our eyes. Last year or last 2 years, when they declared profit, every headline that I read about it was saying that it was financial engineering, financial gymnastics, financial acrobatics. I was waiting for this last year's own because they repeated it for the second time, and now people are silent.
The company says it will continue to reduce earth trade liabilities. James Echen's reports for Joy Business.
The mining sector now, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Suleiman Kone, says Ghana has the ability to extend production of the objects used to refine materials in the mining sector to increase production. According to him, only Ghana procures about 30% of its objects used to refine materials, also known as grinding media input, from local suppliers. He spoke to Joy Business at a grinding media workshop organized by the Chamber.
Statistics from the Minerals Commission indicates that local procurement of grinding media increased from over $33 million in 2014 to over $126 million in 2022, while true local procurement increased from over $30 million to over $46 million within the same period. This shows that local manufacturing of grinding media has increased only marginally, according to Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Suleiman Ukoni. The data underscores the need for the country to improve the volumes of local procurement of grinding media.
We are doing just a little over 30% of our requirement. That is procuring about 30% of our requirements from in-country suppliers. And we believe that we should be able to aim at close to 100%. And not just that, we are looking at the expanding opportunities within West Africa. We have a number of mining companies coming up in West Africa, and it's important that even as we are looking at local content, we should also consider regional content. And that's where the concept of Ghana being the hub for the supply of mine support services is actually important. So yes, we want to, like I said, charity begins at home. Let's make sure that we have the right products, good quality, good pricing, and then on the basis of that, we should be able to explore the opportunities within West Africa as well. So yes, in the first instance, we want to consider the opportunities within Ghana, but over and above that, we need to look at what is happening within West Africa so that our manufacturers within Ghana can take advantage of these opportunities.
The Director of Policy Planning and Minerals Titles Directorate of the Minerals Commission, Collins Enimsaki, said it is important that the country finds a solution to increase local production in order to be able to export some of its mining inputs.
One of the things that mining companies complained had to do with the quality of the grinding media which is being supplied to the mining industry. And for us, that is why it is important for us, and we believe in this workshop, that we'll be able to find, at least in the field of mining, in the field of soccer, winning formula has eluded us. But in the field of mining, we hope that we'll find a winning formula that will enable us to continue to procure grinding media locally and use them in country.
The mining and quarrying sector contributed over 6.3 billion Ghana cedis in 2022 as fiscal payments to the state, excluding dividends.
This is still Business Live. We are taking a break. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Business Live. Government says it will provide financial and technical support to over 50,000 entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprises in the country. According to Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, government in collaboration with the Ghana Enterprises Agency will create jobs, economic growth and prosperity for the younger population. He was speaking at the Ghana Enterprises Agency and MasterCard Foundation Business in a Box project.
Is resolute in its programs to make the Ghanaian youth and their businesses economically viable and actors of socio-economic growth.
The project has an ambitious goal to empower 250,000 individuals and support 125,000 with startup kits, as well as provide market access support to 50,000 businesses and regulatory support to 40,000 businesses. This really is an unprecedented initiative that we believe will create and sustain decent jobs for the Ghanaian youth, leaving no one behind.
Trade and Industry Minister Katie Hammond reiterated his outfit commitment to supporting these businesses.
The last time when we were here and the checks were flying like confetti, the whole place was full here. Today, you don't have that. I'm told that this is the official launch of this particular initiative. Your Excellency, the Vice President, I had heard about this new tranche of money coming. So I kept asking the Chief Executive when it was finally arriving.
Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Kosi Yankee Ayer, said her outfit will engage their business advisors to monitor the growth of these businesses and entrepreneurs.
In times like these, there's a temptation for the youth especially to feel like a victim. But today we welcome you all here to give you the opportunity to rewrite your story and also be the heroes in your story and be the master of your fate. We welcome you to the honored devotion of our government's unflinching support and resolve to partner with the right people, with the right ideas, with the right support and the right resources. So together we can build and strengthen the youth of this great nation for a future that has changed beyond our own understanding and comprehension.
More on businesses. German and Ghanaian businesses share a long-standing business relationship that spans a wide range of products and services across different sectors. Now, according to the Deputy Ambassador of Germany to Ghana, Sylvain Jasson, the government should consider reducing its minimum capital threshold to increase foreign investments into the country. She spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the Mutual Prosperity Partnerships Roundtable held in Accra.
Economic growth is a key issue. So these dialogues, partnership, is to find means of getting the appropriate capital to be able to ensure that we create jobs for our people. And so we are questioning the whole basis for our investment laws, the local content issues, and juxtapose it with the needs for the future. And also knowing that the Africa Continental Free Trade is here, I think we should be an example of how to attract companies, add value to our resources that we have to be able to then export into the continent.
The Deputy Ambassador of Germany to Ghana, Sylvain Jasson, urged the government to reconsider reviewing its minimum capital threshold for foreign businesses.
We have had interactions with quite a few SMEs in Germany that are considering to come to Ghana, but the minimum threshold of investment does pose an obstacle and really causes them a little bit of a headache. In the business climate, we have raised these concerns with the Minister and also with GIPC and other actors. These concerns, they do not relate to the regulatory framework we have here. It is more the application sometimes that really causes issues for the companies, especially implementing existing good laws that would, if they were actually fully implemented, really ensure a level playing field for the companies and thus equal access for everybody who is active here in the business market.
The roundtable provides a platform for exchanges and discussions between Ghana's Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Trade and Industry, and representatives from the German business community in Ghana.
And that's it for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. There you go with great stories there. See you same time tomorrow. Bye.